What is up, innovators and Gundam Meisters? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are going back to AD 2307 as we follow Celestial Being in their attempt to stop all war. Last time, Celestial Being forces Teribia back into the hands of the Union, making the world slowly turn on them. On this episode, Allelujah will disobey orders and save people, while the nation of Moralia gets aid from the AEU. So let's get into this. In Azatistan, Marina is heading out on a tour to try to find solar energy for her nation. She thinks that the Union and Teribia must have manipulated Celestial Being, but her assistant Shiden says that it is because they are willing to eradicate war at the cost of public opinion. Marina heads out. At the HRL orbital elevator, Saji and Luis are heading up to Heaven's Pillar, or Tenshu in Japanese, for a training trip. Kinoe drops them off and she tells Saji not to do any funny business with Luis. They head up using the linear train. As they get to a certain point, the gravity goes away and you're weightless. In another train are Sergei and Soma. Sergei asks why she volunteered for the Super Soldier program, and she said that she was a designer baby that was designed specifically for the program. When they reach the Pillar of Earth, which is the low Earth orbital station, they meet up with their tour instructor. They take the two out for a spacewalk. Both Saji and Luis look over the edge to see an amazing view of Earth. Luis trips and falls. Saji tries to save her, but the instructor ends up saving them both. At a military outpost along the lines of Heaven's Pillar is an HRL base. Here, Soma and Sergei are looking at the new Tieran Tautsu. The MSJ-062SP Tieran Tautsu is designed specifically for use with super soldiers, specifically Soma. It is developed from the Tieran Kitu, which has a 500mm gun at dick level. This unit is essentially known as the Tieran Super Soldier type and is designed to surpass the Gundam supposedly. We will see Soma pilot this unit and gather extensive data that will improve it. The display system increases the accuracy of information transmitted to the pilot and allows for faster and more precise mobile suit control, which normal pilots seem to struggle with its speed. This mobile suit has the same arm-mounted smoothbore gun and chest-mounted machine gun that the Tieran space type has. It can also use the carbon blade of the Tieran ground type, essentially the best of both worlds. It also has a 30mm machine gun, and, not to forget, it is pink. After they look at the mobile suit, we cut to 2 days later. Allelujah is heading up to the orbital tower for his next mission. Before heading up, Lock-On tells him to be careful because the world currently hates them right now. His mission is to spy on the new HRL mobile suit. Soma just so happens to be testing that mobile suit while Sergei follows in the Tieran space type. While testing the unit, Soma gets a weird sensation at the same time as Allelujah, who just landed on Heaven's Pillar. His pain causes a scene at the station. He yells at the bad thoughts in his head. Go away, bad thoughts. He gets up and his personality has shifted. Outside of the solar tower, Soma is freaking out and she begins shooting at the lower levels. She hits a module of colony blocks and it breaks off. This just so happens to be the same module that Saji and Luis are currently on. Allelujah reaches out to Hallelujah, for he is now in control. Remember about that personality shift? Well, this personality shift was triggered by his past. It was triggered by Soma. Hallelujah is more of a repressed memory representing his past, which we will talk about more at a later time. But we do get flashes of Hallelujah in a white-walled facility yelling. He snaps out of it. Suddenly, Allelujah is back in control. There are 232 people on the drifting module of the colony block. A rescue crew is expecting to reach them in 7 minutes, but in 14 minutes they will start to drift into Earth's atmosphere. Wang is watching the action and says that they won't make it in time. She is informed that Allelujah has launched. Sergei goes in and pushes the module, but he is just one unit and gravity is a bitch. His propulsion isn't enough and he will soon be dead as well if he continues on. Suddenly, Gundam Kyrios comes in. Wang tells Allelujah that this isn't a part of the mission, but he hangs up on her. He goes in and helps out Sergei. He wonders why the Gundam chose to help. At JNN headquarters, Kinoe finds out that Saji and Luis are in danger, and there is nothing she could do about it. Luis tries to say something to Saji, but is cut off by the chaos. Even with Kyrios' Gundam, they aren't going to be able to stop the colony block from entering Earth's atmosphere. Allelujah tells the citizens in the colony block to head to the center module. Sergei says he can't do this alone, and like a badass, Allelujah says, I am not alone. Right when a shot comes in and shoots off 2 of the modules from the colony block. It is Lock-On in the Gundam Dynamis on Earth, sniping all the way into low Earth orbit. Gundam Exia comes in and helps remove clouds to give Lock-On clear coverage. Savage. Now Gundam Kyrios only has to push on a single module, which is less heavy and easier. The rescue crew finally makes its way towards the colony block and Kyrios takes off. Back on board the Ptolemaios, Tieria is mad that Sumeragi abandoned the mission that Veda laid out in order to save people. He is also mad that Dynamis showed the world that he has the ability to shoot at such a long range. Sumeragi was just trying to protect the Gundam, and Tieria suggests that perhaps they get a new one. Savage, but he is a weird half computer, half hybrid thing. Kind of like Mintats in the book Dune, if you ever read that. As they are rescued, citizens all head back to the solar tower. Saji asks Louise what she was about to say, but she refuses to answer. We head to South Africa, where we meet a merc named Ali al-Saachez, who is looking at the damage caused by the recent attack by Celestial Being. He gets a call from his company, PMC, or Private Military Company Trust. How original. He must return to the capital of the Republic of Moralia. He is excited that he will finally see some action. Back at the AEU, members of Parliament are discussing their options for what they should do for the Republic of Moralia. They ultimately decide to give aid and send in soldiers to help out the nation. Remember, the AEU still have not completed their orbital tower, so they are making constant decisions that make them seem like they aren't falling behind to other nations. It has been a week since Allelujah disobeyed Veda's orders. He was thrown into the brig since then. Tieria comes and talks shit. Tieria is written to be a badass, but I could never take this cardigan ass wearing motherfucker seriously. Allelujah thinks that he is going to be taken off the Gundam, but he is still needed. They plan on taking actions against Moralia. Tieria and Allelujah prep for launch. Back at the HRL base on the orbital tower, they are examining Soma and wondering why she suddenly attacked Heaven's Pillar. The scientist expects that it was an external force and that her body is fine. Specifically, her quantum brainwaves enhanced her glial cells. The glial cells are actually a real thing and is a type of cell that provides physical and chemical support to neurons and maintain their environment. Good on the writers for not making up some magical biological process. The scientist puts a blocker in so this won't happen again. Back at the AEU, Marina is seeking out aid from the French. They say that it will be impossible to get aid without guaranteeing the safety of their technicians and that their country is too unstable currently. As she leaves, the French ambassador takes pity on her, knowing how young she is and the burden she bears for her country. The Ptolemaios crew, Sumeragi, Christina, and Felt Grace ride the elevator back down to Earth. Felt Grace gives a briefing on Moralia. 20% of all business within the AEU are controlled by PMC. They are also a for-profit military. Again, this seems to be a product of the AEU not wanting to fall too far behind and allowing business to come and shape a nation. Christina wonders why they have never actually been a target of Celestial Being. Sumeragi believes it is because it is a business and the way to target PMC isn't through war. No, because war is how they make their money. You beat them by simply letting the well dry up. However, Sumeragi points out that they thought they should have imploded from within by now. Back at the AEU, ace pilot Patrick Colasar does a Top Gun. He lands at Moralia to assist the nation and awaits for Celestial Being to make their move. Lock-On and Setsuna meet up with Ian Vashti. I believe he is technically a part of the Ptolemaios crew, but he is essentially the weapons guy. He is like the Q of this world. Dynamis is rocking a new Master Gundam look, while Exia receives the 7-sword system. These are swords with a GN blade. It is a blade doused with GN particles that makes the sword sharp enough to cut through E-carbon. This system actually makes Exia finally complete, as Setsuna was rocking a mobile suit not completely in spec. These blades also have the ability to cut through a GN field. The blades are stored in the left and right hip of Exia. The news is reporting on Operation Dawn, a joint exercise between the AEU and Moralia. While watching the news, Sumeragi happens to run into Billy. They were former college friends. They also both used to study under Ralph Eichmann, who Billy and Graham are currently under during this new mission to capture the Gundam. Billy tells Sumeragi that he believes Ralph may have stumbled onto a new particle that may put them on the level of the Gundam. One thing to note is that Sumeragi is a member of the AEU before joining Celestial Being, and Billy is a Union member. Billy alludes to a past incident that occurred between the two. Ali was earlier given the enact custom to use to help capture the Gundam. the PCM was given one unit to use by the AEU. The AEU 09Y812 al-Saachez's AEU Enact Custom has bigger power units and antenna receivers than the Enact. It also has upgraded weapons such as a blade rifle and the large sonic blade. The change in color from blue to red give it a plasma field resistant coating, but most importantly, it hides the AEU branding. Here is a new mobile suit. It also is equipped with a defense rod, missile launcher, and blade rifle. Wang gives the Ptolemaeus team a place to work as command headquarters. Kyrios Gundam is the first to go out and face the airborne forces. Virtue starts making its attack as well. Patrick notices and goes after the unit, but Gundam Virtue takes him out with ease. His fleet goes down, but his unit is only damaged. Exia makes its way to the battlefield. That is when Ali comes in and attacks him in the Enact Custom. Setsuna instantly recognizes the voice of the pilot. He was the leader of KPSA, the child army that Setsuna was a part of. And that will do it for this one. One thing that I love about this series is it mirrors our reality hard. One example is the necessities of space. Before humanity stopped caring about space travel, our main motivation for going to the moon, creating NASA, and so much more is strictly always motivated by war in some way. We see this in Gundam 00 as nations desire a strong military simply out of necessity of building the solar tower. Spot on writing, minus the on-the-nose names. Private military company, are you kidding me with that? Another thing that makes this series so unique is that we see an incident occur, then we see how all nations react to said incident. Each nation approaches the problem in a unique way based off of their needs of the nation. In our next episode, we will dive deeper into the conflict with Moralia, and we will learn more about Setsuna's past. We will also finally see our first slap of Gundam 00. But until next time, Gundam Meisters, if you're going to try to be intimidating, maybe take off the sweater. Peace.